And
Oh
yeah.
What's up, guys? I am shooting Matt Farah's Lamborghini Countach. We're doing a shoot for charity here to benefit the fire victims here in Malibu and just in general, just the California wildfires. But I gotta get back to shooting. This sucker is off-road. Look at this guy. Look at this guy.
Oh, listen,
Both feet on one shoe.
I got the size 12s. There's nothing you could do. You got to drive it barefoot.
Wait, so that's the thing is back then, people's feet were smaller, right?
Not back then, just in Italy. Italian cars in the 80s were like American cars in the 80s. They were built as if no other countries existed. So Italian cars were built for Italians. American cars only worked in Detroit. BMWs only worked in Germany, and that's how all cars were in the 80s. And so the idea, I go, you know, I don't fit in this thing so good, and they go, this is not the car's problem. Did you know the first owner of this car did two very key things with the car in 1989. One, he had the first ever Escort Fuzzbuster, and two, Oh yeah.
What the heck?
Right? The doors go up by themselves, son. You can't even get that in Aventador now.
Now, in the 80s, you couldn't expect to bring your own mirror. We're gonna go ahead and supply you with a Coke mirror. in the visor. We don't want you to do your Coke on the dashboard like an animal. We want to give you your own Coke mirror.
The CD player was optional, so not everyone was gonna have a CD case either.
What the heck?
That's the original Alpine CD player. It was $9,000 in 1987. That was the only option. There's two options on the car. The wing, which was $5,500.
Okay.
And the CD player, which was 9 Gs.
Almost twice the price of the wing.
In fairness, you did get upgraded speakers. Yeah. Whatever that means.
From paper to...
From garbage to slightly less garbage. But that's the first ever CD player in a production car, ever.
Wow.
Yeah. Look what a piece of junk the key is.
Wow.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Is that a mailbox key or something?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, what the heck?
I have a better key that opens my garbage can lid. I worked with Blip Shift to make this shirt, which we sold. It's all our favorite California roads. And we donated all the money to the California Fire Foundation. We donated $19,000.
That's awesome.
From selling these shirts. So,
awesome.
Yay! I can represent it.
That's one of the things. I mean, that's why we're out here.
Oh, sorry.
That's why I woke up at 5 to drive to Malibu to get some shots. And it wasn't my idea, actually. What was your original idea?
Well, I grew up in this area, and my in-laws were all displaced from the fires and everything. And I just kind of felt like, you know, I need to do something, you know.
So what, are we gonna make a poster and sell it? That's the thing.
Yeah. So I
should do that.
figured we get the guys together. The guys kind of here in SoCal,
Silence your
wrapped out with Larry, and figured, you know, you're always up on Mulholland. I've watched a million videos. We've been up here together. So
this is my first time up here since the fires.
Same.
I'm like mind blown. Like
Same.
the devastation of it is really, really wild.
We came down and we just saw 2 deer standing in the middle of a black, you know, just
it's like, where do we go? What do we do?
It's just, it's wild. So it's like, but this kind of, I mean, this is exactly why, you know, we're doing this, and exactly what I wanted to do is be able to give back. And it's like, you know, not everything has to be about the company and all that kind of stuff. It's like, sure, you know, we'll take care of whatever's there. I want everything to go to, you know, the proceeds to go to this and the people who suffered.
When you guys were talking about devastation, what's crazy is you look at the houses and one house is completely fine and the next one next to it is completely burned down, which is the craziest thing.
The fire stopped 50 yards from my friend's house. Like, his street, it's like a nice little white picket fence street, like fine, and the fire is like it just ended like there.
It's like, so what do we need to do to give back? What can we do to kind of give back to the community that I grew up in, you know? And it's like, this is a perfect way. Get you guys together, do some cool stuff, put together the, you know, the poster that we all grew up with, but basically in a place that, you know, is kind of has changed now. So.
I was really hoping when you got here you'd be with Cindy Crawford.
Yeah, so that's the story I wanted to talk about. That's what I wanted to talk about. This car was actually a poster car, right?
Yeah, well, so Cindy Crawford did I guess it was a Super Bowl commercial in '92 or something with a Countach. I think it was for Pepsi. And then she revisited that shot. like 2 years ago for Harper's Bazaar.
Yes.
So and she used this car.
Awesome.
The guy I bought this car from hoed this thing out like Iceberg Slim. I mean, hoed it out. It was in everything. And so there's pictures of like Cindy Crawford like pumping gas into the wrong side of the car and like pretending to stand on the wing. She was over on the other side with like a fuel filler, and it's like, Cindy, the filler's on this side. It's in a Diddy video. I don't know what it is. I haven't listened to a Diddy song since '97.
More money, more problems. That's
no, a
fitting.
recent one. Having a Countach that's been in a shoot with Cindy Crawford, I think, is like having a Porsche that's raced at Le Mans.
Yeah,
That's the Lambo equivalent of that.
There's definitely provenance there, right?
Yeah, hashtag provenance.
How many miles have you put on this car now?
I bought this car, let's see, a little over a month and a half ago. And I've not put many miles on it, but that's not because I'm not gonna drive it. I've just been traveling and busy, and like I didn't plan the end of my year. Like, it came up for sale. My friend wanted to get out of it, and along with some other cars, and I got the opportunity to buy it. Honestly, other than cruising it around LA a little bit and taking it to Radwood and bringing it up here, I really haven't driven it very much. But I'm gonna drive it. I'm not gonna be the guy who just looks at the car. I've just had a busy month, but it only has 17,000 miles on it. These cars, like, there's so few of them, and it's in such between the color combination and the fact that it's all original and the fact it's never been painted, it's never had body work. The interior, part of the driver's seat was recovered because Johnny Lieberman tore it when he drove it from Motor Trend Chassis. Johnny! You know, the car is really, it's a highly original car in the right year, in the right color, in the right configuration, and so I can drive it and put a couple 1,000 or 2,000 miles or 3,000 miles a year on it, and it'll be fine.
What year is this one?
It's an 88. 88 for me is actually the best year it could be, because an 88 is a Quattro Valvole, which is the 4-valve engine, the most powerful engine that they had in the car. So it's a 5-liter V12, 48 valve. This one makes 449 horsepower. So that's the most powerful engine that could be. The earlier Countaches were like 360 horsepower. The 5000S was like 360. Some people prefer the carbureted cars. I don't personally have an opinion on that. This one's injected, and that's fine by me. With an 88, you get the fender flares, the wider phone dial wheels, right? The big meaty tires and the wing, and we should close the trunk. There is an actual trunk here. You can fit like an overnight bag in there.
But like,
and you get all that, but you don't get the ugly, you know, in 89 it was redesigned. Horatio Pagani redesigned it in 89 for Lamborghini. And you got the ugly body kit, and you got the US bumpers, and you got the boxier interior. And so this has the original style interior with the flares and the wing and the big engine, but before they gunked it all up with the other stuff.
but I mean, like, so how is it to drive?
It doesn't really like going slow. If you really just try and creep along, it bogs a little bit, and you have to slip the clutch, you know, a little bit more than you're probably comfortable with. Although the car has a brand new clutch in it. I bought it with a brand new clutch, which is really nice. It's got this really soft Italian clutch, but it's also got, wow, this guy's mobbing this Miata. It's a 5-speed that goes 180 miles an hour, so it's got really long gears. Oh, that sounds kind of nice. So driving at low speed is definitely a little clunky.
Yeah.
Backing it up, making 3-point turns, you know, sucks.
Yeah.
However, when you are moving, it's glorious. I mean, it's 450 horsepower and it's 3,200 pounds. It has a manual steering, and it only has 225 tires in the front, so the steering is actually not particularly heavy at all. The forward visibility is nice. The power is very linear and very smooth. The sound is great. You know, because it is an 88, it's on 15-inch wheels with sidewall and sort of normal suspension, so it's firm, but compared to your modern supercars, it's not like these Nürburgring tuned kind of cars. It's actually quite a lovely GT car. It's really good from 60 to 120 on the highway, but anything over like 20 or 30 miles an hour, it's quite lovely.
Well, how's your headroom? I mean, like
my head brushes. It brushes the ceiling, so I have to be careful because I always put sunscreen on my head, you know. But I have to be careful not to put sunscreen because it's gonna make that soul glow stain, you know, on the ceiling.
Why is there one yellow spot?
Yeah,
on
I know. So I have to wait till I get there to put the sunscreen on.
But you know, staring at this thing all morning, it just really reminds you of the whole. When you pull up in this thing in front of a hotel or a restaurant, there's no other car that says, "Hey, I'm here."
It's game over. It's anywhere you go with it, it is the conversation ending car. I mean, we were sitting up there waiting to get a shot. Did you see the whole line of 458s and 911s and Huracans and stuff? And it's like, they're all taking pictures of this.
Yeah, so that's the thing is there was a bunch of other Lambos that were driving by, getting in my shot, and I'm like, all right, that's cute, guys, but get out of the shot so I can take pictures of this thing.
It's an aesthetic that I don't want to say it doesn't exist anymore because the Aventador is extremely aggressive and La Ferraris, and these are beautiful cars, and I think those cars will age well over the test of time. But 3 people I spoke to up here this morning said that they've never seen one of these. You know, Lamborghini built, I just was at the press launch, what do they say? 3,800 cars in 2018. They built 2,000 of these over 16 years. 74 to 90, they built 2,000 Countaches, only 600 of them were QVs. How many of those, and that's global, you know, how many of those are left? How many have never been painted? How many are this color, you know, it's, the odds of seeing another one like this are so small.
I've honestly only taken pictures of one other one, and that was James Chen's.
The white one, yeah. James is hilarious. I like that car. He said it took him a very long time to find a white on white. He wanted a white on white, and he said it took him years to find that. I got so lucky because, you know, the exact car I would buy happened to be the exact car that came up, and it happened to be owned by this friend of mine, Dave, who is the perfect guy to buy a car from because he doesn't care what things cost. He just has them done right. You know what I mean? So the downside to buying from him is he didn't drive it very much. He drove it 1,000 miles in 10 years. I'm going to drive it way more than that. I'm going to drive it more than that in the first year. Easy.
Thanks for letting me shoot at it for this good cause.
You are the person. Yeah. Like, I was like, if someone is going to shoot the car, like, Larry Chen, like, those shots you did of my Mustang on film were rowdy. Like, they're great. And we're going to go out to the desert with the 911 too, right? Oh, yeah. We're going to go play in the dirt.
Want to go for a ride, Larry?
Yes.
Let's go for a ride.
Let's go.
Let's see the brush?
Yeah, the head clearance.
Yeah.
What the?
We're just going to go for a little cruise down the snake. Dogleg gearbox.
What?
First gear. We'll be right back.
That's so cool. Oh my god. Oh, it's comfortable. Yeah.
That's what no one tells you.
Yeah. This is
I know this guy.
I know everyone.
Listen to the horn. Very musical.
That's so cool.
It's my first run ever down the snake in this car.
What?
So I have brand new tires. Pirelli reissued the original P0s, so they were super hard to get for a while, but now they're just making them, and so it's only $1,900 for a set.
Only $1,900?
Well, I mean, it's a lot compared to a Civic, but my Mustang, the tires were more expensive than that.
Wow.
If you have a Vet, you could spend double that on tires, easy.
Dude. It is.
So in these very tight corners, you know, the steering is heavy because it's manual rack.
Yeah.
And look, the car, it's not a slow car, but I drive it like a classic car. I don't drive it like I would drive a brand new GT3 like a total dick.
But you're enjoying this. I mean, that's lovely. The point, is you enjoy this car for what it is. It's a time machine.
Dude, every time I go into my garage, whether I'm driving it or not, just to see it sitting there is quite glorious. It's got very long legs, you know?
Oh, so cool. This thing is too cool.
Right. In these very tight bends, the steering gets a little heavy.
For me, I actually have a lot of room. Like, this is pretty nice. This is really, the seats are actually really comfortable.
Oh my god, this poor guy's house.
Oh, wow. This is so crazy. I love how big that clock is, too. It's hilarious.
Bro, first gen digital.
don't make cars like this anymore.
They couldn't. This thing is ridiculous. Man, it's so sad. The fire is really toasted this out.
Yeah.
From 89. It's got the Fuzzbuster. You guys would love this. In the dash. Look, this is the original Escort Fuzzbuster from 89. And it's got the original Alpine CD player, too, from 89.
Oh, the Alpine?
The Alpine CD player was $9,000 from 1989. It's like 18 bucks now. Yeah. Really? Yeah. First CD player ever put into a car.
18
You have to pay for recycling.
This is what, look, Larry, this is what this car does.
That's what I'm here for.
It's not because
This is so cool.
Everyone who sees it loves it. No one ever, 20 years ago you were such a douchebag if you had one of these. Now you're like, oh, you're a connoisseur.
20 years.